Memorabilia.
No, we never took it.
We didn't have this one, right?
Yes.
Okay, it will start reading now. Just 1 second.
Memorabilia. What's the thrill? My friends wonder why I have an extensive collection of other people's clothes and shoes, old concert programs and albums at home. They think I want to relive special moments in my childhood. That might be true for some collectors, but I'm not sentimental. You can make a lot of money from things that have a special place in history.
Uh, some of
History. Sports equipment like balls and shoes that were used in a great match, props from pop exercises downloads, exercises downloads. There are a few different ways you can find this sort of memorabilia. First, you can buy it at an auction. It's expensive, but if you are lucky, it will be worth it because memorabilia can suddenly increase in value, and you could make a lot of money. For example, a baseball signed by Babe Ruth sold for over $77,000. In 2017, just 4 years later, a similar one sold for $180,000, over twice as much. Imagine if you had enough money to buy that. I can't possibly buy that kind of memorabilia, but it is possible to buy part of it. Some companies look for rare items from around the world that they think will increase in value. People can buy a share of the memorabilia and buy and sell their shares over time. That's a great way to make money without spending a fortune, and for a little while, you can be the part owner of a piece of history, although you can't take it home. If your goal is actually to own memorabilia, you can find some interesting items in second-hand shops. Sometimes, an old collector dies, and their spouse gives away their possessions without realizing their value. You could also try to predict who will become famous in the future. Getting some shoes or a ball signed by someone who isn't famous yet is not too hard. Then you just have to wait until they do something spectacular. Then you have something really valuable. That's how I got a signed tennis racket from one of the world's top players. I have been tricked before, though. I bought a signed record online a few years ago. A few years later, I tried to sell it at an auction house. When I gave it to the auctioneer, he rubbed the signature with his finger. It was smooth, not bumpy, so he knew it wasn't done with a pen. Someone probably printed it on. That was a pity. I'm also always careful to keep my memorabilia in perfect condition. You can't just put it in a cupboard and leave it there. I once left some old concert programs in a cupboard, and the paper curled and changed color. Now I use special packaging and equipment to make sure the room doesn't get too hot, cold, or damp. It isn't cheap, but you need it if you are serious about collecting. Of course, I never know which memorabilia will become valuable and which will not. I had some signed shoes from a great young basketball player, but then he had a bad injury and quit, so those shoes will probably never be worth much. Plus, the value of memorabilia goes up and down. A t-shirt signed by a popular celebrity could be worth a lot now, but its value might have halved in 5 years' time when that celeb is no longer famous.
The writer collects memorabilia in order to hello.
Make money.
The writer mentions the ball signed by Babe Ruth as an example of
Memorabilia which increase constantly in value.
considerable. The companies that the writer mentions in paragraph 3
Uh, allow poor people to pass partly by own value.
How did the writer get a signed racket from a famous tennis player?
It was given it by player before he was famous.
What?
Before he was famous
The writer's signed record was an example of some memorabilia that
was fake.
the writer recommends that collectors
No. B. No, no. C, C, C.
the writer mentions signed sports shoes as an example of something that
Will not be as valuable as he predicted.
all right. Let's check your answers. Wow, this is real good, real good. Done. Okay, here we go to the next part.